I watched the trailer of Rocket Boys, and I tell you, I'm so thrilled. Finally, something intelligent to watch, something intriguing, something that we would learn so much from. And the two men we talk about here are Homi Jahangir Bhabha and Vikram Sarabhai. Before we start this conversation with the actors who are playing these two gentlemen, let me tell you something about these two gentlemen so that you know a little bit about them. Now, Homi Jahangir Bhabha was an Indian nuclear physicist, founding director and professor of physics at the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, colloquially known as father of the Indian nuclear program. Bhabha was also the founding director of the Atomic Energy Establishment Bombay, which is now named as the Bhabha Atomic Research Center in his honor. And the TIFR and AEET were the cornerstone of Indian development of nuclear weapons, which Bhabha also supervised as director. It is played by Jim Saab. A little more about him. Homi Bhabha was awarded the Adams Prize and Padma Bhushan. He was also nominated for the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1951 and between 1953 to 1956. Imagine. Now, the second person we talk about here is Vikram Sarabhai, who's being played by Ishwak Singh. Vikram Ambalal Sarabhai was an Indian physicist and astronomer who initiated space research and helped develop nuclear power in India. He was honored with Padma Bhushan in 1966 and Padma Vibhushan posthumously in 1972. He is internationally regarded as the father of the Indian Space Research Program, ISRO, that we know of. Both of you, welcome.
Hey, thank you.
I have to say, Jim, I was telling you, amazing casting. You actually look like Homi Jahangir Bhabha. You actually look like him. And Ishwak, you too, with a little bit of this addition that we've done with your ears to suit you and make you look like Vikram Sarabhai.
I just performed at the NCPA so much. I knew that the Bhabha family itself was such an important family for the cultural landscape of Bombay, not just the scientific landscape. And so, yeah.
What is the charm of playing a leader, a big person, heavily respected, with absolutely no controversies, or maybe, you know, very respected, very respected? What's the charm of playing such a man?
Tata eulogy and Vikram Sarabhai's eulogy, they both talk about him as a complete man. And when I think of what it means to be a complete man, I think, you know, not just somebody who focuses only on his work, somebody who's involved with politics, culture, art, and whose interest in all of these are not superficial, they are deep and full of knowledge and full of practice. And he's ready to put in the hard work to not just learn about all of them, but to also make his vision of how the world could be an actual reality. That's like, it's like someone pulling an idea out of their head and suddenly the whole country can have it. It's incredible, incredible. And but more than just that,
but you know,
this is more than just that. It's a person who knows how to live life. Believes in proper relationships, knows how to have a laugh, doesn't take himself seriously, has a wicked sense of humor. You know, all of these things contribute to the complete man.
Well, tell me, Scott, how did you prepare for the body language of that man? You know, Mahatma Gandhi, if you play Mahatma Gandhi, absolutely different body language. You play Indira Gandhi, absolutely different. I keep listening to a lot of interviews of big leaders of the world. They carry a certain persona with them. You know, isko nazarandaz nahi kiya ja sakta. When you get into the role that you play, especially this one, how did you prepare for it?
Demeanor तो mind से ही आता है, वो तो आपके mindset से आता है. It's not a particular posture or a gait that I mean, I wouldn't want to sort of approach it that way. It's fun to sort of get to know the person, and then you know, get to see how he looks at things, interpersonal relationships, professional aspiration, beliefs, ideologies, culture, upbringing, education. All these things form our accents, our demeanors, our mannerisms. All these things, it's I think it's all of it, and so many other things. Then, you know, day to day, परेशान होते हैं, थके होते हैं, तो वो ऐसा कोई उसको उतना सहज रखा था जैसे कि जितना कि सहज एक इंसान होता है अपनी रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी में. And it's, and the same things about age. you know, whether it's in my 20s, how I thought, what were the things, the important things in my life, as opposed to what it is now, you know. And when the character gets older, what is it that's going on in his head? The demeanor will naturally, I mean, the burden of all those responsibilities, let me just put it in that sense, would kind of often physically, literally made me, the body affected the body language. Abhay kept me from wandering. Jim kept me from wandering, as I like to wander a lot.
Now tell me, not all big leaders can be very interesting to, you know, for their stories to be very interesting to watch or read for an average reader. How much have you contributed as an actor to making this character spicy? And does an actor do that very often in a biographical movie?
See, we're painting in a picture that history has more or less given us the black and white for, you know. But we are painting the picture, trying to be as accurate to what we've heard about them in our lives, you know, in the research. And Malika Sarabhai, for example, watched it, you know, and she really enjoyed both the portrayals. And so I think we've tried to be true to what we've heard about them, you know. Homi did have the tendency to be a bit flamboyant, would show up to parties late.
Yeah.
You know, would show up with some Hollywood A-list actress, you know.
Yeah.
This was very well documented. However, he had a companion through his life, probably his closest companion apart from maybe Sarabhai or Nehru. Even though with Panditji Nehru, there was more of there was more of an older brother,
yeah,
you know, kind of respect. It wasn't buddy. But Nehru also had a great sense of humor. I mean, you've heard his like very infectious laugh. I imagine this high-pitched giggle that he had, you know. And so you know, he did have a constant companion who, even after she got married and had a whole other family and life, was always his +1 to all dinners, events, concerts, plays. She was always there. She was always given the extra seat, and whether she showed up or not was another thing entirely. So this is
interesting.
So this is who is so we've displayed her with Parvana Irani, and Parvana Irani does sound a bit like, you know, you automatically assume the person is a old Parsi grandmother.
Totally. She's fun. She's fun to watch. I in fact, all Parsi girls are like quite fun. I have spent a little time in South Bombay, and I think Parsis is a great community, just great. They're so high.
Yeah, they don't take themselves seriously. They really enjoy life. You know, that's what I like about the community.
You know, it's also got to do something with the fact that they own hundreds of acres of property at the time of their birth, so they don't have to fret too much.
Well, not all of them.
Not all of them.
Not all.
Are you one of them? Are you one of them?
Dr. Bhabha definitely did, and no, yeah, my parents became. My dad made his money midway through my life.
Okay.
Yeah. He had a late rise to success. My father, actually.
Okay. That's interesting. I'm actually looking forward to this world also. The Parsi world is always a very interesting world.
Yo, watch Rocket Boys for our producer's belief, our director and writer Abhay Pannu's vision, and our DOP's superb eye.
Yeah, amazing camera work. Amazing camera.
Phenomenal.
Work. I do agree. So great. So 3 cheers to a scientific attitude and the love for science and physics. So much needed right now in the world full of emotions and jargon. And really look forward to this. Rocket Boys.
Thank you.